Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Welcome in. Tuesday, July 29th, Mike Wright, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, the Fantasy Footballers. Was that enough days, Mike? Was that enough days off to recover from what happened on the last episode?
As I said on that show, I went into, I wasn't there.
Yeah, you closed your eyes, and that meant that you weren't in the room.
I fully disassociated.
Are you guys talking about new nickname, Meat Higgins?
Is
that what you're talking about?
That is what we are talking about.
Yeah, baby.
That was an all-timer.
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
I don't know if did that happen as a byproduct of kind of like Saturday mode? Like,
Yeah,
we
a
know
little
it was a
bit.
Saturday
A little
episode.
bit,
Like,
yeah.
it's a little more loose.
It was at the end of the episode.
Some might say too loose, you know?
Some. Not me.
So we're back Tuesday.
I mean, T. Higgins needed a rebrand anyways.
That's not the one I would have chose.
Mm.
But that's okay.
If it is rare for a veteran like that far in to their career to get a nickname.
Yeah. Meat Higgins is here, baby.
Okay.
He's going to play.
Oh, man. What do we got going on today? We got Unsolved Mysteries on the episode today. Going to look into a handful of topics that we think they haven't really been discussed extensively on the show, and they are big question marks for fantasy football players. So do I need to worry about?
There's a little breaking news, but we'll talk about it in the news section.
Yeah, we did get breaking news to update some breaking news that'll be in the news section momentarily.
It's some broken news.
It is broken news. Yeah, okay. Jason got a dynasty roster spot back.
Yes, I did.
I do want to remind you the Ultimate Draft Kit's available right now. It's the #1 tool to help you dominate your fantasy football drafts. It helps you prepare yourself to make all the right decisions during the draft. And one of the cool things is we are adding a brand new feature called Value Scout. And this is going to give you the ability to optimize and find values based on the platform you play in. So we've wanted to do this for a long time. Basically, a lot of league mates that you're in leagues with, they draft based on the average draft position of the platform you play on. So Yahoo, Sleeper, ESPN, NFL, wherever they play, that's kind of the default view that they have when you're in the middle of a draft is, hey, this is where players are going. We have rankings that determine what we're calling our true value of those players, and we're going to give you the chance for the first time with this new Value Scout tool to compare that, to be able to see what players we have ranked much higher than your platform's ADP, predict where your opponents are going to take players, and give you a chance to kind of optimize for your league. It's a chance to find values in your draft.
Yeah, you can also use it for the reverse and see where guys are being severely overvalued in their average draft price. You can use it to either be like, okay, this guy's basically 2 rounds ahead of ADP according to his true value. So maybe I just take him 1 round ahead of ADP. I'm still getting a value, but I'm not overdoing it. There's a lot of ways to use the tool. I used it this morning for a draft. It was great.
So that should it's final.
You can't use it yet.
No, it's in testing right now.
But I can.
Final testing phase, and it should be out to the app sometime, I'm thinking, within a week. I see Al Borland over there. He's going like, when? When is this coming?
I was curious what you were going to say.
Have you done any testing with the app yet?
Very little,
Okay.
but I have done some.
All right. Well, it'll be there soon. UltimateDraftKit.com if you want to check that out. Let's get into that.
Jeremy, you could just be like, yeah, it's awesome. Like
he was
I've been
wanting you
using
to-
it. It's really great.
He was wanting you to
You could have done that.
pump it up.
Well, it's awesome. It's really great, guys.
Thank you.
You're going to love it.
Thank you.
I mean, I barely used it, but it's
But it's awesome. All right, let's talk about that news.
News and notes from around the league.
Well, we have a lot of injury news to catch you up on, but we'll start there, and then I'll circle back to contract news. We got word that Treylon Burks.
This was the new one
Well,
that just popped
Well,
out.
we got word that the Titans wide receiver this weekend, on Saturday, fractured his collarbone.
Which is so impressive. Whilst coming back from an injury, he's coming back from a knee injury, not all the way ready to go, and somehow still finds a way to break his collarbone.
Milk.
It's been a horrible run for Traylon Burks. It's between lack of production. He was for those that don't remember, the Titans traded their first-round pick, I believe it was pick 19.
18, I think.
18. They traded A.J. Brown away to receive pick 18, and they used it on Traylon Burks.
Yeah, it was basically a 1-for-1. It was like, you know what? We're going to draft the next A.J. Brown.
The next A.J.
Brown. He was the comp.
Because they didn't want to pay A.J. Brown the market price.
No, how do you win a Super Bowl if you've got A.J. Brown making big money?
Yeah, exactly.
So, it hasn't worked out for Traylon Burks.
Shoot.
And we found out moments ago that after the injury, he was waived. He is no longer a member of the Titans.
Yeah.
So
saw that Cam Ward talk about.
They still have a really confusing depth chart at wide receiver to me. They have Calvin Ridley, who, if you listen to Calvin Ridley talk about Cam Ward, he is glowing with just the differential and kind of what I would say he calls wide receiver friendly passes. And then you've got the journeyman now, last leg Tyler Lockett, and a pile of rookies. So DK is there, IMAGN, Restrepo, and
don't forget about Van Jefferson.
And Chig Okonkwo at tight end and Gunnar Helm at tight end. So
basically,
this is why I like Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley's looking like a it's going to be it's probably going to be pretty gross because you have a rookie quarterback throwing him the ball. But how is his target share not 27+%?
It does seem that way.
I said it before, but like when I originally statted out for the UDK and I statted everybody out, I went, whoa. I do not like how high I have Calvin Ridley. I had to lower that target share a little bit just to make sure we're not getting too crazy here.
Might I suggest Calvin Ridley could be my guy this year?
Oh, no, thank you.
Oh, yeah, no.
I would never do that.
I said it's going to be kind of gross.
Yeah.
We got word. I mean, where there's smoke, there's a busted toe. Joe Mixon expected to miss multiple weeks of training camp because of what has been described as kind of a frustrating foot injury. He was in a walking boot. We got reports that he was doing well back then. Now he's probably going to miss the preseason. You have a pretty standoffish head coach that doesn't want to give details about what's going on. I have seen multiple reports. I looked into this right before the show again. And it's like, I don't like the vibes, right? Like we're all making some adjustments. I don't like the vibes, but I'm seeing multiple people say, oh, it's being overblown. He'll be back. He's doing fine. I don't know the truth. We don't know the truth. And that's enough to raise the risk factor of Joe Mixon and to allow you to start to consider, what's the backfield going to look like if he's unavailable? Because Nick Chubb, people need to remember, like Nick Chubb was the offseason acquisition. It's not a big deal in Houston financially. He averaged 3.3 yards per carry in Cleveland.
He was not.
He did not
ready to be back.
He did not look good, and then the season ended with another injury. So that did not help the progression of returning to form or anything that you want to say. They have Woody Marks. They have Dameon Pierce. But this is like kind of a yellow alert at a minimum for Joe Mixon.
Yeah, I mean, the truth that we know, you're like, oh, I don't know. Is he okay? Will he be fine? What we know is that he's not fine right now. He can't play football right now. He's frustrated with his foot injury. And, last year, I remember a pretty important running back. He was injured. He wasn't able to play in camp, but he's going to be fine. He'll be fine for week one. And then everybody drafted him 101 in CMC. And it's like the lesson learned is like, you can't necessarily know what the truth is from reports and from expectations and hopes, but you can know what the truth is for today's availability, and he is currently injured.
And the other factors of what we do know, Joe Mixon is 29 years old. That is 2 years older than the generalized running back age cliff, and he has seen a lot of opportunities in his career. He's been hit a lot. He's taken a lot of carries. Until we get a much better report.
Yep.
You should be hesitant about drafting him at his ADP.
Yeah.
Yep.
Earlier, we had Joe Mixon in the UDK as a value. This injury is enough to say this. He's not necessarily a value. He's
Guys,
very, very risky.
Brought me so much joy.
I know, Mike. Your hatred for Joe Mixon knows no bounds.
What about Matthew Stafford? He's not practicing this week. He's supposed to begin practicing. This does remind me of previous camps where managing this back for Stafford has been a kind of a 5-6 year thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's had surgeries on his spine, a lot of back problems over time, but this is also a team that really, really, really rests their guys. They won't play any preseason if they're healthy or not. McVay talked about that. He's like, well, of course, it's great to have your player out there, but when you've been a veteran for 17 years, it's like you kind of know what you're going to do.
For sure. Yeah, Justin Fields, good news, returned to team drills.
Oh, man.
He had left practice, then he came back out.
What was that all about?
Came back out, didn't play, and then now he returned to team drills on Monday. So
not just team drills, he was in full 11-on-11.
Yeah.
Like
We love that.
full go.
It must have been one of the lesser important toes.
Yeah, that's got to be ring finger. Ring toe? It's not ring finger on the foot
Why is that?
because it's not a finger.
Oh.
Like, it can't be.
Mike was walking you through like a teacher in second grade. Justin Jefferson.
I don't know. Can you?
Mild hamstring strain for Jefferson. Held out of practice this week. You don't like that news. Any soft tissue issues?
Reevaluation is next week. So
Hopefully he's all right.
Yeah.
Darnell Mooney, shoulder injury. Looks like most likely an AC joint sprain. Likely to miss the rest of camp.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this before the show, just
That
the depth chart. One of the reasons that I've liked,
here we go.
I've really liked Darnell Mooney as, a late round, flex option at wide receiver because there's really no one else to throw the ball to here.
Yeah,
I mean, you've got, first of all, Drake London's going to have a massive target share.
Yeah.
This is somewhat good news for Drake London. But behind them, you're talking Ray McLeod. Okay, that's irrelevant for fantasy, but he will go up and
DJ Chark, they just added.
Sure.
And
Kyle Pitts.
And Kyle Pitts. We are so back.
And Kyle Pitts. 24-year-old Kyle Pitts.
See, I don't want to say anything positive about Kyle Pitts because I felt like I had measured comments on the last time he came up, and I received way too many DMs about how he's going to be a my guy or something.
I am rooting for him.
That's not going to happen.
I'm rooting for him so hard.
Well, look, I looked at it. He should have 600 yards again.
Yeah. Oh, for sure he should have 6. I mean, he did it last year, and he stunk.
So the 49ers have more injuries at wide receiver. Kyle Shanahan told reporters that Juwan Jennings left practice after suffering a calf injury on Sunday. He missed part of the OTAs and minicamp with the calf injury this spring. He is pining for a new contract.
Yeah, are we sure it's a calf?
Yeah, that's 100% what
never
I
be
feel like his
sure,
bank
but
account's a little under the weather.
It could be. The fact he left middle of practice and dealt with it in OTAs and minicamp, I don't know.
That's what
I'm just reporting what Shanahan said.
What you do is you
Rashawn Slater got better, by the way.
You make an
when he
awesome,
got a contract.
You make an awesome play in camp.
Uh-huh.
You're out there, you
Yep.
make a one-handed grab, go over there, spike the ball, and then go, oh, no. My calf kind of, I think I'm going to sit out till you pay me.
Ricky Pearsall activated off of the pup. So that's good news.
He's like, Ricky, sit down. It's Ricky, I'm doing a thing here.
I'm trying to do something.
I'm doing something. Luther Burden returned to practice. Luther Burden III for the Bears, finally.
This is great. This isn't even returning to practice. This is practicing for the first time. Like he didn't do the. This is the first time he's
I
been
saw
out
some
there.
Colston Loveland video too.
Nice.
Yep.
Get them
There was
rookies out there.
some slow-mo Colston Loveland videos.
We're gonna be talking a little bit about the Bears receiving here in a bit on this Unsolved Mysteries episode.
Dalton Kincaid did not practice, dealing with knee soreness, and Kenny Pickett dealing with a hamstring. Noah Fant visiting the Dolphins.
Man, the Kenny Pickett with the hamstring injuries, like how is this not Joe Flacco's team for Cleveland? And Dalton Kincaid is just, oh my gosh, that guy.
Have worked in Cleveland so far is Shedeur Sanders is the only of the four that hasn't been receiving any first-team reps. So it's been Dylan Gabriel and Flacco and Pickett. Pickett's going to miss some time. What were you going to add, Jay?
My first reaction was identical to Mike's, which is, how is this not Joe Flacco's team? And then I worked through that process and thought, oh, no, they're going to see a lot of Joe Flacco at camp with this great defense. I mean, he can play himself into like, I want the other guy I'm not seeing. So I don't think it's a guarantee that it's Flacco right now. But you're right. It has been, they said Flacco's going to take the vast majority of first reps. There's going to be some drills where they might have Dylan Gabriel involved, but Shedeur Sanders is very, very, very quiet.
Cortland Sutton has agreed on a 4-year, $92 million extension with $41 million guaranteed for the Denver Broncos. I love Cortland Sutton. The clarity to me in that wide receiver room with Sutton at the tippy top just gets more secured with this deal. He was the wide receiver 13 last year. If you like Bo Nix, if you like Sean Payton, if you like the offense, if you like their prospects to be an above 500 playoff contention team, I don't see how they do it without Cortland Sutton. And the hope is that this guy can go out and give you close to double-digit touchdowns again.
It's so much fun.
And he's a fifth-round pick.
He looks like a pretty decent value right now. And, like, Cortland Sutton was just – if you think about your dynasty leagues, what the value of Sutton was. If you were trying to shop him last year, it was like even when he was having a good year, people were like, nope, I'm not interested. This is fantastic.
Yeah, unrelated to Cortland Sutton's 29.8 years old contract he's receiving, Terry McLaurin has a calf injury, not really, an ankle. He's placed on the PUP for an ankle injury. He is not injured. His wallet is injured, and he's saying, pay me.
Yeah. Terry McLaurin, the fans chanting at camp for him to be signed, but it's been reported there. He wants like DK Metcalf, $33 million a year guaranteed money.
It's being reported, but like, who's doing that reporting? Is that the team?
Look, if they don't sign Terry McLaurin,
would that be the team or the agent? Being like, look, he wants that level of money.
Yeah, but did you go about that, or I feel like the agent would be like, we want to get something done here.
What do you
I feel like the team would be like, old greedy Terry over here wants to be a top 5 paid wide receiver.
I said this in the office. I think he has paid the dues in Washington for such a long period of time. He has never lacked for talent. He's lacked for stats because they've never had a quarterback. His talent's always been there. He deserves to get paid. Yes, he's older.
It's like a team tax.
But there's a tax. Yeah, this is called
he will be 30.
When you
soon.
enter the category of fan favorite, hometown legend, when you get to a certain point and you haven't been paid, and you probably he would have been long gone or paid way more money had he had any competent quarterback giving him opportunities.
Yeah.
I'll be shocked if they don't get him into camp. He's not there now. I mean, he is, but he isn't. Baker Mayfield, they adjusted his contract, which does expire in 2026. The 2026 season had no guaranteed money. Now has $30 million guaranteed, and they're still trying to talk about a long-term deal for Baker. But now he's not really that lame duck final season situation. So he's got financial security, and that's a lot of news.
It is the season.
Do you guys have anything else you want to add? Anything else you finding out over there?
No, sir.
Traylon Burks have a new team yet?
Not yet.
We found out Bijan Robinson wants to be called Bijan.
Oh, yeah.
Bijan
I
Robinson.
don't know that he wants to be called that. I think he was just
saying that's what his name is.
Like, this is how you say my name.
It was funny because
that thing needs to go in the garbage.
We got to replace that. It's the Bijan minute now.
When he said Bijan, I was like, oh, it's like Dijon mustard.
Except for Dijon mustard.
Except for you also say Dijon.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm going to change. We'll find out.
We'll see what the commentators do.
We'll see what happens.
If they're still saying Bijan, it's going to be weird on this show to be like.
See, we did this once with A-Chain.
Uh-huh.
I mean, now A-Chain sounds broken.
Yeah, because it is. But that name was way cooler.
Yeah, Devon A-Chain.
That was awesome.
And then it was A-Chain. Because of, that's what my name is.
Yeah. And it's great because every now and then, this is, peel the curtain back a little bit.
Halloway.
Every now and then, there is, we get told, we get a report of like, oh, we are saying someone's name wrong. And they are not important enough for us to adjust or care. But it's like, this is
Bijan, man.
This is Bijan. We got to.
Yeah, this one we're going to work on.
Are you worth us getting your name right?
Oh, that was like Njoku. Because for a long time it was Njoku.
Yeah.
Right? But then we found out it's Njoku.
And he played well enough eventually, and so we're like, okay.
Wait, it's performance-based name accuracy?
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a break, then we're going to jump into some Unsolved Mysteries.
Unsolved Mysteries.
Well, I'm not going to make the claim that these will be solved mysteries at the end of this segment. That is not really the basis of what we're doing here. But we're going to do our best to speculate on some answers for these unsolved mysteries, situations that we don't currently have definitive answers on. And, you know, we project the UDK. We look at play calling tendencies, obviously offensive changes and head coaching changes and league-wide trends, market shares. These are all things that factor into the way we predict and project players. But there are teams and situations and questions that are very, very difficult to forecast, and we have about 5 of them we picked out today. And so I think one of the more interesting ones is where we'll begin, and it's in the Buffalo Bills locker room, which is basically like, do the Bills either have a wide receiver that you can count on in fantasy, or will any of them step up, or will they even need to step up? Because you're coming off a year where Josh Allen not only won the MVP, but was quarterback 2 in total fantasy points per game. Great, productive, amazing season for fantasy purposes.
So then Dalton Kincaid was awesome.
No.
Right?
No, he wasn't.
Oh, it was like the Keon Coleman breakout?
Nope.
Rookie.
No, that didn't happen.
Steal of the draft. Khalil Shakir?
Didn't even finish in the top 30.
Huh?
So this is the great unsolved mystery of the Buffalo offense, which this is the only time in the last 8 years a top 5 quarterback didn't have a top 30 wide receiver or a top 10 tight end.
Wild.
And frankly, when I look at the depth chart now, I only feel like my first gut reaction is that it gets muddier, because I think Dalton Kincaid will be involved. I think Khalil Shakir is the most reliable. But Keon Coleman, year 2, he was injured part of last year. They had a very, if you want to look at a wide receiver that you just say, that's a solid wide receiver, Josh Palmer fits that. He's just a solid 2-3 in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And then Curtis Samuel's involved as well, and you got 3.
He was that once.
Yeah, and there's 3 running backs, a pass-catching running back as well. And so you look at this situation and you want to have the, predetermined answer that, hey, there's 2 or 3, 4 big-time producers in this offense. But what I think happened last year is you ended up starting players that really never produced for you in a way that mattered, but you kept believing that you would get it. Keon Coleman got starts always after like a breakout or a touchdown, right? That's how you chase points on a team like this, is you end up starting them right after a good game, and then you get 3 or 4 duds, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to sit them down, and then you get a good game from that guy.
The issue, I believe, personally, is talent. I don't think they have a star offensive player. They just don't have one. When they had Stephon Diggs, he was awesome.
That's fair.
And he got targets. You're talking about Josh Allen going, hey, 166 targets for Stephon Diggs, 164 targets, 160 targets, 154 targets. He doesn't have an alpha. There isn't one on this roster. I don't believe that any one of the massive depth chart is good enough alone to be the go-to guy. The go-to guy is Josh Allen. The go-to guy maybe is James Cook. And so that's the issue, is you need a consolidation for fantasy goodness. So when I look at this, my default inclination is no. It's going to be spread around to everyone. There's not going to be a perfect fantasy star. But the second layer question is, if anyone is going to be a star and like have their breakout season, who would that be?
I am really – look, do you still believe Dalton Kincaid can do that? I don't know. I don't think in this
on the field.
I don't think in this off, and he's hurt again.
Yeah,
I don't think in
soreness.
this offense, because like you said, you have to have a consolidation of targets, and you have to have a trust of the quarterback. And who could possibly earn it? I think the highest odds of kind of a slight level up is Khalil Shakir. I would love to say Keon Coleman, but I don't think Keon Coleman can go from what he is now to a target share, volume, and go to, like, I want to believe it. Like, from a physical talent standpoint, that's what I would pick in a lineup. I'd pick Keon Coleman. But I just don't see – I think the gap is so far away.
My personal opinion is that no one here is truly going to level up. But if I had to make my pick, it would certainly be Keon Coleman. First of all, he doesn't cost as much as Khalil Shakir. I think he's like a 10th rounder right now. So it's a cheap it's a cheap bet. You know, sometimes when you make that little parlay, you want to throw $1 on it, and you just hope it's a lotto ticket. But he's younger. He's more athletic. He's got some of the traits and tools and the lack of experience where I can see the path. For me, Khalil Shakir breaking out is like this is year 4 he's going into.
Well, but he just got paid. And let me give you his breakout then, okay? Because last year it was 100 targets and 76. I mean, if he went to 120 and got to 85 or 90 receptions,
then he might get 1,000 yards.
Right.
Because last year it was 821. So
in the back of the 7th or in the early 8th round, 1,000 yards?
I don't know.
That's
I think
like 55 yards a game.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's not a threat. He's not a threat for a bunch of touchdowns. He's not a threat to really have a 1,200, 1,300 yard season. But I don't think Coleman is either. I just don't.
Yeah, so then the next question is, could it still be Dalton Kincaid, who was supposed to have the breakout last year but dealt with injuries?
It's a lot easier for him to have a meaningful breakout because he's a tight end. So for him,
he doesn't have to do as much.
He doesn't have to do as much. Like if Dalton Kincaid went out and, I mean, you got to remember his rookie season was very promising.
Yes, it was.
And he's done a little bit of the Kyle Pitts story. And if he was really banged up, and there is this opportunity there. I mean, as a rookie, 73 for 673, and then the regression last year, he
did not look good on the field last year. And so the only excuse for me is he was injured. But then when the report comes out literally today that he's currently dealing with knee soreness.
We know what the problem is.
Right, and if the problem's still there, it's hard for me to buy in. I feel like I'm just out on the Bills.
If Dalton Kincaid had 6 touchdowns his rookie season and kept all the numbers the same, that's like a top 7, top 6 tight end.
His rookie year, you're saying? Yeah.
Which was 73 for 670. So at least
that's where you're calling it. He's doing his Kyle Pittsing, where he comes out and as a rookie shows enough flashes, gets enough yards, looks like he should really level up.
Kincaid could score 6 to 8 times. That could happen. And if that happens, you've got a breakout. But I don't think any of us are buying into any of this happening.
No, not those two guys. I've been, I'm over here contemplating, can Josh Palmer do it? Like he got $18 million guaranteed to come over, and Mac Hollins. That's what I was trying to think of. The Mac Hollins production. If that's all Josh Palmer gets, then it won't be anything but an occasional weekly you hit on a spot start. But I think I kind of side with Jason I'm out on the Bills. Anyone taking the step? So are you out on these guys at their ADP?
I am fine.
Each of those guys will have a handful of, even Khalil Shakir. There'll be a handful of weeks where you're like, oh man, Shakir really was the reason I won this.
I do not want any of these Bills that is going to be a couple weeks out of the year. Like Mac Hollins had 3 amazing weeks last season. He was the wide receiver 80 on the season.
That's a perfect summary, like the Mac Hollins situation. No, but you can't start these.
No,
guys.
so then
they want to run.
That's why
they want to run the ball.
At ADP, personally, I'm fine taking Keon Coleman. He's going into year 2. He was drafted to be the future replacement of the big loss of Stephon Diggs. Not necessarily same archetype player, but like that, they knew they needed a really special wide receiver, and I can see a world where he becomes that red zone target. And if you're going to have an every week start, I want to know, okay, he is that guy, or 2-3 weeks in, I go, no, he didn't do it, and I can move on and cut him.
The other hard part is the Bills had tremendous success with the recipe of not giving us anything good for fantasy.
Yeah, James Cook had 1,600
touchdowns.
1,600 touchdowns?
Yeah, he did. So to me, that one seems like an unsolvable mystery in a lot of ways.
I feel like we solved it.
Yeah.
I feel like
okay.
It's like the body is right there. It's dead. Like the mystery's been solved.
Is that what the
chalk
outline is on the ground?
Most of the time, the unsolved mysteries are they alive? Are they dead? We don't know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I'm establishing that. And now it's like, found the body. Yep.
Wait,
dead.
Are they alive or are they dead? But there's also a chalk outline.
No. There was 2 separate things.
Yeah, I said the chalk outline thing.
Yeah, if there's a chalk outline, that's after the body. We picked up
found
the body,
poked it with a stick. It didn't move.
Yeah.
So they're not just like hypothetically drawing a chalk body.
No, like this is where it could have been. And his arm would have been like this probably.
And then he just pops out of the
store. Are we
store.
done with the chalk outlines? Do they do that anymore?
I think
we have photographs now, right?
Yeah, I think a photograph might have replaced that.
Sounds wise.
Yeah, it seems like we.
It's
I've
slightly
never-
more. What are they
I've
doing
never
for
thought
that?
about the chalk
Are they?
outline.
Like when you trace something, you're trying to get as close as
Yeah.
possible. Are they
That's got to be gross, man.
like? Are these clothes getting chalked on?
I don't think you care.
I mean,
Well,
you're probably
you
you're
shoot
hopefully
for evidence.
you're gloved up, right? You're not chalking gloveless.
I think we should move on.
All right.
Number 4 here, as we count it down. So we had number 5, the Bills situation. Number 4, will drafting quarterbacks early matter in 2025?
Ooh, man.
So this was the way. Here's the cycle of fantasy football. More than a decade ago, everybody drafted elite quarterbacks early. That was what people
They
did.
just drafted all the quarterbacks.
They
early.
drafted all of them. Yeah, Rodgers, Breeze, Manning, Brady, Cam Newton, that era. Then late round quarterbacks became in vogue, and we were big proponents of that because that was a huge advantage. You had breakout seasons for like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and even Patrick Mahomes and Jaden Daniels last
And
year was
Hurts.
one, and Hurts. So it has worked very, very well.
All the guys who are being drafted early this year.
Correct. So we've also gotten a lot better as a fantasy football community, as drafters, of identifying high-value quarterbacks, the cheat code that is rushing quarterback ability. And since 2020, 7 of the 8 quarterbacks drafted in the first 2 rounds have actually met or exceeded expectations. So they've been good bets. So if you've gone, again, that's first 2 rounds, but they've delivered. Like if you lean in on the major talent, they have mostly delivered. I think Mahomes was the one that let you down. in that
Mahomes last
stretch.
year, yeah.
So what do you think? Will drafting quarterbacks early matter in 2025? It comes at a cost. You
Yeah,
are
that's-
sacrificing a running back, wide receiver, a multiple start position.
That is what it comes down to is who is the player and what is the cost. So, for instance, Josh Allen right now is being drafted. I think he's the first quarterback off the board. So you're getting him in the late second. And if you compare the players that you're taking that sacrifice for, you could grab Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, or a Trey McBride, or Josh Allen. I'm confident in all 4 of those guys. I think everybody that's going right there, there's very few warts on them. You expect them to be great. At that point, I am more hesitant to draft the quarterback. If personally,
The top 5?
not necessarily the top 5, but right
top-
there, like the top quarterback, Josh Allen, to me is like that's dangerous when you are sacrificing really good other fantasy options at running back, wide receiver, or tight end. Whereas, like, if you take a look at, who's the lowest in the top 5?
Burrow,
So-
407.
So Burrow is sandwiched right now between Rashee Rice, who I'm sure his ADP
Yeah, it'll
will
move.
lower, and Alvin Kamara. Like, those are huge question marks. I'm not confident that either one of those go right. I am confident Joe Burrow has a very good season. So that's where I think, and I will say Jalen Hurts is right. He's not far off from Joe Burrow. I personally like Jalen Hurts the most. I do think that when you go in on the early quarterbacks, it's about confidence. It's about like, I am super confident in this player. Am I not confident in the other positions around him?
Well, my confidence is higher in Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, but they're the higher costs, so that makes it more difficult.
Yeah.
And they can still. The hard part about the early quarterback is like Josh Allen can still pay off. Josh Allen can still be the quarterback 2 or whatever. It's just, but when it really pays off is when you get Lamar's last year, where Lamar Jackson is, multiple points per game ahead of the quarterback 4 and quarterback 5. Like, there is a drastic difference. It's not just they scored more points. They had a slightly higher points per game. You have to have a little bit of a magical season, and then it's also comparing it to, taking shots on late round quarterbacks, which this year, trying to implement, a guy who's going to run a decent amount. Looking at the guys who are in the double-digit rounds, we have Justin Fields is there, and then, like, I guess you go Drake May and Caleb Williams would be the other 2 who are going to give you, Like what's Caleb going to give you? Like
350,
400 yards on the ground,
Yeah.
and where do you got Drake May going, Jay? Like rushing yardage wise.
I'll look it up. I think it's far more than that. I think he's closer to I want to say 400 or 500.
That's like Caleb. I don't know if I'm going to call him a rushing
none
quarterback
of those
with that.
guys. I mean, those guys could be.
Yeah, I've got him over 500.
Those
right
guys
now.
could all be not starters after 1 week.
Yes, absolutely.
And what I think is lost in this discussion that is nuanced that we haven't said before is, yes, it's great to find that superior win your league season, but predicting the viability of that pick going right, you're guaranteed with Allen, Jackson, Daniels, Hurts, Burrow. Those picks, they don't have to be the number one to deliver on the ADP. You just saw the numbers, right? It's like 9 out of the last 10 drafted in the top 2 rounds delivered on ADP. You don't necessarily, like, it's always a gamble when you take a pick, but it's not a gamble with those guys. Barring injury, they're not gambles.
It's not.
They are a
That's fair.
guaranteed production, even if that production is variable within the top 5 or 6.
So that is, I think that is true, but needs a little bit more context, because if you're just saying that they return on value because they score what at this ADP should be scored or more, that's great. But at the same time, when you do that in the second round, what you're sacrificing there is, at the other positions is a lot more than what you're sacrificing. Like if you beat your ADP in the 5th round and Joe Burrow comes through, what is the other wide receiver or running back going to do that you are sacrificing there? So at the end of the year, your total fantasy points on your roster, not just did your quarterback end up a worthy pick, but did you build the right roster?
Well, my point is exactly that. And I understand if that player performs. I'm saying the bust potential of players in general is not there for those quarterbacks.
I agree.
But if you take a player that is a running back that you really love, I mean, look who you're taking Josh Allen over right now. It's gonna be like Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah,
if Jonathan Taylor delivers a good season, that's a bad pick. You should take a lower quarterback.
That's exactly
But
what
you
I'm
also, like, if you look at the top 20, 30 picks and you look at who busts, outside of injury, just like disappointing seasons, it's not going to be Josh Allen.
Even
It's
including
not going to be the MVP.
Even including injury. If including injury, it's usually not the quarterback. So, like, sometimes people bust because of injury, and that sucks, and you can't predict it. But Josh Allen is he started week 17 this last year as a what do you call that? Like an honorary start.
Yeah.
Just to keep his start streak alive, because he doesn't miss time. Quarterbacks are a little bit safer in that. Not that quarterbacks don't get injured, but they are a little bit safer.
Last year we had Josh. This was the ADP. You had Josh Allen, and then after him it went Devontae Adams, Chris Olave, Achane, Josh Jacobs, Travis Kelce, Brandon Ayuk. So those would have been your opportunity cost players at ADP, which made
most of that's pretty
Josh
good.
Allen
Achane
would have been the Achane, I guess, would be the hit.
And Ayuk, a hit. Yeah.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs, I know he gave you the end of the year, but it wasn't the entirety of the year.
You're talking about Josh Jacobs?
Yeah.
He would crush last year.
Yes, but I said really, especially at the end of the year.
Gotcha.
The first half it was good, but it turned like Jacobs won your league in the second half.
I mean,
so let's just have a little fun here. All right, a little fun. I'm going to play a game. I'm going to give you the current today's ADP of the top 5 quarterback and the next running back you're sacrificing. I'm not going to pick. It's just what the ADP says. So would you rather? So it's Josh Allen or Jonathan Taylor. You're sacrificing Jonathan Taylor to get Josh Allen, or you are Lamar Jackson or Kyron Williams. So you're sacrificing Kyron Williams to get Lamar Jackson, or Jaden Daniels, and you're sacrificing Breece Hall.
that sounds good.
That sounds so far that's the winner.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Jalen Hurts, and you're sacrificing Omarion Hampton.
That's fine.
That's
Probably
not
fine.
too bad. Or Joe Burrow, and you're sacrificing Alvin Kamara.
Okay.
When you
I like
put
the Burrow.
all of those-
I like the Burrow and the Daniels ones.
Yeah, when you put all those together, that's where if every single one of them end up in the top 5, return on their ADP, Josh Allen's probably not your best pick at quarterback.
No, it probably isn't, and it's probably not. If we saw Josh Allen differently than we saw Lamar Jackson and Daniels from an outcome perspective, it might be, but we don't see it that way. They're in the same tier. Like, to me, Allen, Jackson, Daniels, and Hurts.
Agreed.
I have a separation there, a slight separation with Burrow.
I have a mental separation there. I don't have a statistical one. Like so I literally just moved Joe Burrow down in my stats because I was just so high.
Joe Burrow is primed for potential disappointment at that price.
Yeah, because he doesn't run.
Because he doesn't run. And it's not a guarantee he throws those touchdowns. It's just not.
Yeah.
We think it is. It's not.
Give me Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, at least with those examples for sure. All right, we'll take another break, jump into some more mysteries. All right, the next one up, who/what
I like the /what.
is DJ Moore.
He's a man. I will not stand for this. He's a man.
I think that DJ Moore is such a strange and interesting situation for fantasy players because from a talent perspective, I think we would all agree he's a top 15 wide receiver talent in football. But when you look at what he's done since 2018, which is not a small amount of seasons, that 2023 wide receiver 6 overall finish stands out very clearly as the outlier season.
Mm-hmm.
Career high in touchdowns that year, career high in yards by over 200. It was a magical season. He was also not a part of a wide receiver room as robust, or I guess I should say a team with weapons as robust as the Bears have right now with Odunze, Burden, Colston, Loveland, the backfield. Last year he's right back to where he kind of always finishes, which was the wide receiver 17. He's got finishes before the wide receiver 6 year of 22, 19, 22, 18. He was the Terry McLaurin.
Mm-hmm.
That's the funny thing is it's like Terry McLaurin, we're calling for the regression because the touchdowns were out of whack. Yeah. McLaurin had his year last year that DJ Moore had the year before, but betting on talent has always been a very good prescription for fantasy. The superior talent it has a high floor, right? Like even if DJ Moore doesn't give you a monstrous season, it's a high floor. Where are you guys at with him right now? He's been a top 24 wide receiver, but it's been barely.
Yeah, I mean, he's barely been a top 24 wide receiver. That is true. However, he's being drafted as a back, I think he's the wide receiver 21, somewhere around there.
That seems like his floor.
That seems like his floor. And you bring in a better coordinator. I mean, his issue has always been consistency. He has big boom games, and then last year as a top 24 wide receiver, he had a consistency score of a C. It wasn't a good ride.
That's a generous C, too.
41% of the time over 10.5. That's bad.
A lot is going to come down to the new offensive scheme, the Ben Johnson system, who has always utilized the slot player, not just Amon-Ra St. Brown, but even prior teams. It's been a focal point. He's brought this up as to what a focal point it is for the offense. And we don't know who's going to –
it doesn't seem good for DJ Moore.
Well, yes and no. So DJ Moore is the better route runner right now on the team. So that says slot. He is more the prototypical slot size and type of player. So that says more. Last year, completely different staff, different scheme, everything. Odunze played more in the slot than did DJ Moore. But also you got to keep in mind they had Keenan Allen last year. Like that was their slot guy. So there was like some that put DJ Moore on the outside. Like that. So, and they're going to mix it up. I personally think DJ Moore plays more slots than Odunze.
Plays the slots?
Let's leave gambling out of it.
I don't think DJ Moore's I don't think DJ Moore's
fortune! Spin that wheel, baby.
I don't understand who's on the outside for this team. I think they're going to play a lot of 12. I think you'll see a lot of Komet and Loveland. I think Luther Burden was brought in for a purpose to play the slot.
That is
DJ Moore is an outside receiver to me. I mean, this is
so is Odunze. I would say.
Odunze is a complete outside receiver.
Luther Burden was the
those are your two outside to me.
The interesting ad of the offseason with a second-round pick for a guy. Luther Burden has to play the slot.
Yes.
And is he going to come in here and just make everything mucky muck for us for fantasy football for a team like someone should be awesome from here? And do we get a Buffalo Bills here where you're just like, okay, DJ Moore had his week, then the next 3 weeks we're at sub 10. That's where my ranking
Last
of
year
DJ
was
Moore is.
so
I'm concerned.
broken for DJ Moore. I mean, and you can't really say they're going to do the same thing, but last year he had like 24% of his routes, screen passes, crossers. It was the fourth highest number in the NFL. We all watched and got annoyed because it was like, okay, yes, I give you a pat on the back for saying we want to get the ball in our playmakers' hands. That's cool. But gosh, these are low-value targets. You're not giving – he had 1,364 yards on 96 catches in 2023. He had 966 yards on the same amount of catches last year.
Thanks, Waldron.
That's 400 yards difference. And, yeah, I think you drafted Loveland and Burden with a purpose.
Yeah.
So, you know –
The issue is Caleb good? Like that. Eventually,
you said they're like Buffalo, and what stuck out to me was like, that's not Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I mean, the no one's given us real consistent value. It's just a spike week it's rotating spike weeks.
I believe their best wide receiver on their roster is DJ Moore.
I agree.
Do you agree with that, Andy? Do you think today's DJ Moore versus today's Ramadunze?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
So DJ Moore is their best wide receiver. Being drafted at 21, I think, is near his floor. I'm totally fine to take him there.
Are you fine to start him every week? With
that
40% number.
That will 100% come down to whether Caleb takes a step forward or not. I mean,
What about a step sideways?
then no.
He's going to do a lot of those.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that the Ben Johnson system will be advantageous for DJ Moore. I think that Caleb Williams can take a step forward and become good.
Do you want DK Metcalf or DJ Moore?
DK Metcalf.
You want Cortland Sutton, freshly paid, or DJ Moore?
DJ Moore.
Okay. Well, he's sitting right in that spot. Kenneth Walker or DJ Moore?
Don't ask me. That's a mic. No, I would take DJ Moore.
You
over
don't
Kenneth
have
Walker.
to. No,
Chuba,
don't ask me
Chuba
stupid
Hubbard or
questions.
DJ Moore?
DJ Moore. So I think I want him where he's going personally because he is the Terry McLaurin, very, very, very good NFL wide receiver who we know can have a top 6 fantasy production if the touchdowns can come.
Anything to add, Mike?
No, I'm concerned.
Is Evan Engram primed to be a meaningful fantasy football asset in 2025? Entering his age 31 season, signed a 2-year, $23 million contract, 16.5 guaranteed. Cortland Sutton, the top target there in Denver. A whole bunch of other names that I think are interesting, right? We have Pat Bryant. We've got
Mims.
Vele, Mims, Troy Franklin. But
Troutman.
I said interesting. But ultimately, from a experience pedigree standpoint, Evan Engram, we've seen huge years. Number 6 overall tight end in 2022. Number 2 overall tight end in 2023. Last year, poof. Played 9 games. Disappeared. Still had 47 catches in 9 games. But which is a lot, by the way. That's a lot of catches.
Yeah, I mean, but the issue is he doesn't do anything with his catches.
Yeah, how do you have a season? Okay, and I've always been
Jason
pro
has been
Evan
Mr.
Engram.
Anti-Engram, and Mike's been pro-Engram. So
over the course
you
of
two
his
can
career,
face off, and I'll be quiet.
It's just hilarious. Of how do you have a season of 114 catches? Like that's your peak season, and you still don't have a season with 1,000 yards.
Yeah, you don't get it because you.
That is wild.
I mean, here's the thing.
Ain't his fault.
10. Well, it could be.
Yeah.
No, I watched the play call in that season. If you throw him the ball, in a
run
screen
somebody
pass
over.
Okay. You want him to run somebody over?
Break a tackle.
He ain't built to do that.
So here's the thing. The question was asked, is he primed?
Yeah.
Yes, he is. He is primed to have a meaningful season. He just became the autopilot.
Why he's so serious?
He's the Joker.
He should be inheriting the number 2 target job in this role. Like Sean Payton is set up to allow him to succeed. He is primed for a very meaningful fantasy season. It's just a matter of
Let me
now
get rid of
at
that
his
primed
age-
button. Is Evan Engram going?
Yeah, exactly.
Going to have a meaningful fantasy
No.
season in 2025?
No, he's not. In the sense that tight end 6, tight end 7, tight end 8, tight end 9 on the season, tight end 10 on the season. Those are not meaningful seasons.
Right. Those ends up being like bad draft picks. If you didn't get that guy off of the waiver wire in the double digits, you wasted a pick.
Now,
where's his ADP?
At the
ADP is 807 is what I'm seeing.
Look, you could do a lot worse than Evan Engram. You do have upside with Evan Engram. You said primed. If I know he's going to get 5-6 targets a game, that's a good starting point for a tight end.
Yeah,
maybe
like
that price is too much.
5-6 targets a game, that could turn into 25, 26 yards every game.
You are such.
Give him at least
10 yards
per catch.
10 yards of reception. That's like the metric to me when I'm looking at tight ends. That's like, are you a near the line of scrimmage, don't do much with it type of player, or are you someone that can have more fantasy relevance? And he went from 10.5, which wasn't that good 3 years ago, down to 8.4 last year, down to 7.8.
He in a PPR, I can see it being more valuable, but ADP wise, right after him is David Njoku, who I think is going to have Joe Flacco, and that becomes an exciting pick. Tyler Warren, the unknown rookie tight end, but massive draft capital, going after Evan Engram. Tucker Kraft, the yard after catch specialist. Colston Loveland, the newly paid Jake Ferguson.
Are you saying you're out on Evan Engram?
I think I'm
Sounds
out.
like it.
I'm out. Like, even with where my projection is where it is, but draft price wise,
let me ask you a question.
It took 8 years to get him out of.
Who comes to mind when you think of a tight end that does not break tackles, just catches the ball and?
I believe that you're looking for Zach Ertz.
Oh yes, I am.
Yes,
Zach Ertz last year, 10 yards of reception.
Also, Zach Ertz, number one target in training camp right now.
Not today.
Not today. Today it was the senator, Ben Sinnott.
Look, there were many years where Jason Witten catching the football and falling down was valuable for fantasy. It's not something that I'm saying, hey, you have to go get this guy, but you're also not going to lose many weeks because of Evan Engram. That's all I'm saying. You could take a shot on somebody that's if you throw Isaiah Likely into your lineup, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
You
might get 2 touchdowns. You might get nothing. You might get
far more likely to get a goose from Isaiah Likely than Evan Engram.
That's all I'm saying.
You're never going to get a goose from Evan Engram. He's going to live his bad games. He'll be 5 points.
Are you locking Kyle Pitts into your lineup over Engram this year?
Holy crap. Why would you say that?
No.
Come on, Jay.
No.
Just seeing if
I will say this.
All you got to do is choose either Pitts or Engram in this situation.
No.
Genuinely, if I had to draft one of those guys going into this year, it would be Kyle Pitts. And that's because he's 24 years old. You hope he could take a step forward, be better than we saw last year. I don't think Evan Engram is going to, at this age, become a better athlete and a better football player.
His worst is Pitts' best.
That could very well be true.
We are 1 year removed from 10.2 points per game.
As I say, don't hear what I'm not saying.
Oh.
Don't hear what I'm not saying.
You said me.
I would
Higgins.
not like.
I will hear what you're not saying.
I would not like either of those players. I don't think either one is going to be a meaningful every week starter for fantasy football.
So you'll take
safer.
You'd
is
rather
definitely
play
Engram.
If you had to lock in, you say yes or no. You'd rather lock him in over Engram. Ready?
Yeah.
Johnny Smith.
No.
Njoku. Warren. Kraft.
Join
Kraft.
Me. Yes.
Kincaid.
Engram.
Ferguson. Okay.
Ingram's
Ingram's not for you. I've done the quiz. You go to the website. They do the quiz.
Right,
I'm going to pair you with the right mattress. Evan Ingram's not the right tight end for you.
I am okay.
I need the plus size tight end.
Yeah, you do. That's what it is.
I
want
am
the big
okay locking Evan Engram in as my fantasy tight end. I'm just not okay drafting him where he's going with those other guys behind him.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. I just want a quick answer. It's just a simple unsolved mystery. You just have to give me the answer. It's not hard. You don't have to give it into any details. Who's the best running back on the Jaguars?
For fantasy or best running back?
Oh, my God.
It's the same question.
Well,
it's the same answer, I should say.
It could be the same answer. It's definitely not the same question.
Fantasy.
Then I'll go ETN. Catches passes.
I'm still going to go Tank Bigsby.
Cool. Glad that
Andy?
got saw.
Andy?
Tank Bigsby.
Okay.
My former fake my guy. We got a mock draft show coming up, top 10 tight end ranking show, Ice and Fire episode. Oh my gosh, it's almost August. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.